Hi guys, how are you all today morning? Good morning. Today is 17th August 2023. My name is TSV Raghavan and I live in Chennai, Tamil Nadu, India. This is my spiritual vlog on YouTube. Haribol TRSV Nectar NECTAR Nectar. The complete name of this vlog is Hardan Hardan Haribol TRSV nectar NECTAR nectar. In this particular vlog, in all my previous videos, we have been discussing about the knowledge and information that we have gleaned through the study of spiritual books, scriptures, contemplation on the material universe, and meditation on the spiritual universe. This particular video in the vlog is no exception to that rule. It is actually a mere continuation of all that we have been doing in all my previous videos. Kindly subscribe to this vlog and press the bell icon so that I may keep reminding you of all my previous and future videos. So let us continue with the topic of discussion for the video of today's subject. Before continuing, let me remind you or inform you that unlike in my previous videos, here I am trying to make a neat blend of the case history with the theory of today, which I am trying to describe in this video. In other words, these two, the case history and the subject concerned, which we are trying to analyze, will go hand in hand. Unlike the one videos that we had made in my previous vlog, that is, there I discussed the general theory in the beginning and told you about the case history in the end. Here, both will go hand in hand because I found yesterday while contemplating on this subject that it is more convenient and more informative. So let us continue with the topic for today's video. In this video, the protagonist was born in Nagpur, Maharashtra, India, into a middle class, educated family and was christened something, but his nickname became Thambi. Thambi in his Tamil language means younger brother. As he was the youngest of the two brothers, this guy was called Thambi. Now let us take a detour into the theory. It seems that this guy Thambi was either in the fringe of the 75% living entities in the society, or he had been at the border of the other 25% of the society. 75% are those who are floating around in this society like zombies, fondly feeling and imagining that they have come into this material world to lord it over this material world. However, the 25% realize finally, after several births and deaths, that they have not come here to enjoy life individually, but to become a servant of God and to carry out either a material or a spiritual assignment for the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Thambi either belongs to the fringe or border of that 75% or to the border of this 25%. Somehow it was beaten into his superconscious memory already when he was born in this lifetime that he should try to emulate and celebrate celebrities and take a leaf out of their life stories to get individually more evolved as a spirit soul and a living entity. This Thambi became strangely contemplative even as a child of 3 or 4. Probably he had joined this lifetime as an intern into the 25% bracket, as a result of which his assignment was chosen for him by the Supreme Personality of Godhead or destiny, or he had chosen it himself for his progress into the material side and spiritual side of life. This Thambi became attracted to reading and paper material right from the age of 3. So much so that his father, till his father's death, kept on saying that the first impression of Thambi that he had was that this guy was staring into the photograph of a magazine called Diwali Malar in Tamil, which was now published in English. This guy at that time neither knew English nor Tamil. Actually, he was just a boy of 3, but he kept on staring at that photograph of the Kurukshetra war in Mahabharata even at that time. What happened was the mystery or the irony is that this guy, Thambi, still remembered, even in his adulthood, the color of that painting, which was maroon, and he could vaguely remember several guys on horse and elephant backs trying to lance and cut each other in the battle. This photo, this guy vividly remembered. Probably this guy, Thambi, had an assignment which took him towards the cerebral side of life, as a result of which he had an insatiable thirst for knowledge. Right from the age of 8, this guy began reading magazines in Hindi. By the time he was 10, he had begun reading small story books. Nobody knew when. This guy slowly slipped into the groove of a bookworm. This went on and on till this guy reached 35. The favorite subject for research of this boy was underworld and crime. This guy read mystery novels, other novels, mystery stories, magazines both in Hindi and English, and other articles, and somehow was able to blend everything into his own mind in such a way that he could cook up ideas and stories for himself or for his own entertainment. By the time he was 35, one day this boy suddenly switched over from researching about the underworld into researching about spiritualism. This was also because of his haunting some lending libraries in a place called Dombivli in Maharashtra. One day, when he was in search for a crime novel, one small book slipped into the bottom from the back side of the wall of the cupboard. Intrigued, this guy tried to price it out and look at it to see what it was. It was a book called The Science of Self-Realization by Swami Bhaktivedanta Prabhupada, the founder of ISKCON. This guy read that book and became spiritual overnight. Spiritualism attracted him more than fiction from then on. Anyway, while he was reading as a child, this guy developed a flair for telling stories and converting them into stories for a writing. However, this guy's karma and destiny was such that to work out his prarabdha karma. He had to become a bookkeeper instead of a writer of books, and he had to remain like this for another 30 years from the age of 19. This pained this frustrated guy no end. There was sweat, tears, blood, and failures, frustrations, insults, setbacks, etc., that this guy suffered through in his next 30 years. Even as a student, he had his first taste of failure when he failed in his maths test in one of his monthly tests when he was a third standard student. This developed a lifelong phobia for maths in this boy. It had serious repercussions in his lifetime, as a result of which this guy went into such depths of insolvency or insignificance that he had to work as an assistant to the very guy with whom he used to study for a course just 1 year back. That guy qualified the exam while this protagonist called Thambi failed in it. As a result of which, when that guy took pity on Thambi and gave him a job as an assistant of his own in an organization, Thambi had no other go but to accept it. However, God helped this guy Thambi in trying to take all this in his stride and to consider this as a part of his own destiny. Probably this was because of vibrations from his superconscious memory. So, while the whole world was appalled at this and other insults that Thambi had to bear, Thambi went along with it as if nothing had happened. Probably he was working out all his dark karmas even at that early age. However, to make stories short, this Thambi, while being a voracious reader, used to guzzle stories about celebrities of every walk of life to learn from how those people became great. It seems that several of those celebrities belong to the 25% bracket of humanity. Thambi, Thambi did not know it then, but somehow he felt that he could take lessons from those people's life stories to achieve his own end or success in his assignment, which either he had chosen or was given to him by his own destiny. Right at the age of 15 or 16, Thambi decided to become a writer of stories. But this did not happen till he reached the age of 50. It means that he struggled for so many years just to become a writer. Even then, Thambi did not lose heart. Despite the setbacks and the hardships that he had to face in the society, Thambi cherished that dream to become a writer of stories and storybooks. At the age of 56, alas, Thambi suffered a massive stroke which left him paralyzed from the neck down on the right side. This confined Thambi to his chair in his house. However, even this had a blessing in disguise. Suddenly, Thambi's outside movement was confined and he had to be satisfied with reading or writing and being in his stable all day long. It had its own effect. The same Thambi who had been cherishing the dreams of becoming a writer from the age of 16 wrote and published 35 to 30 stories and published them in an internationally renowned publishing house. This shows that if, as Mr. Rudyard Kipling has predicted in one of his poems, rest if you must, but don't you quit. Cherish, relish, and nurture your dreams till you reach the goal. As Swami Vivekananda has said, rise, sleep not, strive till the ultimate goal is reached. Nobody knows why, but it seems that this Thambi had germs of spiritualism with him even in his previous lifetimes, as a result of which, when he began publishing and writing books and stories, he wrote not only about fiction and assorted items, but also about spiritualism. After that, this guy started his own spiritual vlog just because spiritualism had by now become his favorite subject. You all must be knowing who this Thambi was by now. He was none other than, or he is none other than T.S.V. Raghavan, who is running this spiritual vlog and who has published several stories in fiction, assorted subjects, and spiritualism. All this happened because Thambi said never say die when he had to go through the grind in his younger age. He remembered once that there is a saying called God takes some people into deep, murky waters not to drown them but to clean them. Thambi was probably very unclean as far as his karma and destiny of previous births went. It was only because of that the Supreme Personality of Godhead took him through so many failures, frustrations, tears, anger, depression, etc., so that he could work out all his dark karmas of yore. However, I wanted to tell you that as Mr. Kiru, the astrologer, had predicted, this Thambi brooked no opposition, and when his nature was aroused, he struggled so hard that ultimately his efforts and his own psyche was crowned with success. This guy wanted to be a published writer, and he not only became a published writer but he also started his own blog and website. This shows that if you hang on to your own aim, if you fall in love with your imaginary assignment or aim, if you prevent any sort of distraction from that aim, you are certainly going to reach at least some level of success in your particular assignment. As I had mentioned in my previous videos, this assignment or aim is a very jealous mistress, just like money and genius. It wants all of your concentration when you try to get attracted to this assignment. It will not allow you to distract yourself or to try to live according to your own whims and fantasies. No, you must surrender yourself and fall head over heels in love with your aim to such an extent that it grows into you one day or the other and becomes an extension and part of your own living entity. Nothing else should matter in your lifetime. Yes, hindrances, roadblocks, tears, sweat, failure, frustration, insults, and other such negative vibes will consistently attract you in the beginning. When, but when they find that they are not able to deter your determination, then they leave you slowly, steadily, and sometimes automatically. It, God makes you so tough that you outgrow all these negative vibes one day or the other. There is one saying: when the eagle soars into the air, some crows and birds try to attack it. This eagle does not fight back despite being attacked by these birds. But alas, these birds, these enemy birds, have one height to go while they fly, whereas this eagle is capable of soaring even to a greater height. And this is what exactly that eagle does. It does not fight back with the other birds. It just keeps soaring higher and higher to such an extent that the other birds leave this eagle to live its own life in frustration and failure. They are not able to harm that eagle which has soared to such a height. We must take a lesson from the eagle. We should reach such a height that no ordinary mortal from the society is able to touch us or to attack us and harm us. There is one Urdu poem, खुदी को कर बुलंद इतना कि खुद खुदा तुझसे पूछे बता बंदे तेरी रजा क्या है. It means that you should strive to reach such dizzy heights in your own life and become so perfect and superior in your own life in character and talent that even God comes to you and asks you, tell me, son, what is your aim in life? We must always strive for that material and spiritual perfection. We must live for our own assignments and aims in a life to such an extent that one day even God comes to us and asks us, tell me, Guy, what do you want with your life? This is what will make you as a spirit soul entrapped in a human material body to become perfect and evolved. Only evolved souls attain self realization, liberation from the cycle of repeated births and deaths, and finally get delivered to the Supreme Personality of Godhead. That is the ultimate goal in life for every living entity, including you and I. This is what I wanted to say in this particular video today. Kindly let me know what you think of my talk on this particular subject. My name is TSV Raghavan and I am also a published author with Amazon Kindle and paperback. I write on spiritualism, fiction, and assorted subjects. Kindly give me your own expert opinions, thoughts, ideas, and views so that I may blend everything together for the sake of this society. Till we meet in my next video, it is good morning from TSV Raghavan.